Hi, welcome. On this video, I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk about the language of the script itself, the relational changing script. And this is where it's really important to understand that dogs understand the intent. Goes to the core of the motivation being the scripting process itself. And that it's about what's reasonable. It's about this issue about this type of connection dogs share with us. Dogs make sense of it through that. And so, therefore, all the methods, including how the leash is used, how it's used as a relational tool, how it sets up change through how influence transfers through the leash. It's all very, very important. The dog actually can read and interpret what your intent is through how that's used. So this issue of language, it transcends verbal language. I mean, and this is a problem when people get focused on wanting to work off of commands. That can be a huge problem because, again, you have to look at the whole package, how dogs interpret, the where the person's standing in nature, and then therefore, if you're already in a weak position, if you start trying to build this picture of change through using commands and incentivizing the dog that way through the so-called positive reward-based, ideology, it can be a problem because it's about the dog's motives. This is the thing that people really get caught up or get taken down by because they're not stepping back far enough to understand nature that way, relationally, the depth of this connection. And again, this goes to the issue about the type of language that you want to be speaking, the language of change through the process itself, through this issue about influence and what's reasonable, how that sets up change. And so, just so people understand, all the dogs know the intent. All the language that you want to speak is language that the dogs understand through nature. And this is where I help people understand how to speak that language. And because I'm looking differently, and that's the thing people have to understand when I'm doing the method. It might look a certain way. People even make assumptions that they look at, how I'm using the leash. Well, that's a correction. Okay, they get all caught up in that, and I'm not speaking that language that way. I'm going deeper, and the dog understands that. And so this is where again I talk about moving beyond this mainstream quadrants. I'm out of the box. I'm not thinking like that, and I understand this issue about dogs' motives. So this is where so many people they don't see this issue about like reasoning it out about, okay, why is the dog, how's the dog responding, why are they responding, and so when the dog's moving around and the picture's being created, what is that? Is that really is it what it seems to be? But then that's the question you have to ask. Well, what are the motives that are in play when the dog's responding, moving around for different motivating, influencing agents, even through praise? Is that really does that really represent changes happening? And oftentimes it does not. I mean, that's a hard thing for people to swallow, but that's really what's happening here. But again, it's really understanding there's depth to this relationship with dogs. Nature has real depth to it. When you see dogs even interacting with each other, just understand there's this issue of strength and weakness going on. You're not going to see what you expect to see through, even this issue about the dominance issue. Dogs are already communicating. I mean, they're already working that out, and there's things happening there that go beyond just the appearance of things. Appearances are very, very deceiving. This is why when things get out of control and a dog expresses a high elevated state and there's an aggressive incident, people feel totally blindsided because they don't see it coming that way because of these issues with the motives of the dog, the reasons why dogs are with people. So dogs can be building up and gaining a incredible amount of power, and the owner will never see it coming, because of the motives are rotten to the core. A person's being devalued, the dog's objectifying, and this is the problem. So again, getting back to the issue about depth and language, this system ties into that. I help people understand how to speak the right language with dogs, through this relational system, and it's very effective because it pushes everything out of the way. You're going to see things clearly. It's going to help you get to where you need to go. And the good news is, because it's different, really think about that. I mean, if you look at people that are struggling and just basically following the same line of thinking as what the reason that it got them into trouble in the first place, think about what that's just common sense. I mean, if you looking for change, but you're not changing how you think, and things look great, and a lot of these trainers are not even considering motives. In fact, they don't even think that way about dogs, even though that's a problem in the human world. Just think about, people and their own motives as to why they do. It's the same thing. It lines right up. But that's what this system's about. So it is totally opposite. But then that's where the hope is in. Is the fact that it's different. So anyway, I'd encourage you to really think about this. Dogs are incredible. But there's depth to the connection they share. Nature has depth to it. Appearances can get us in a lot of trouble because we have to look at the motives that go beyond that, extend beyond just appearances, and ask those questions. Okay, is the picture that is created through this system or approach or whatever you're doing, is it what it appears to be? Does that represent change? Is it does that align with the dog's state of mind? And oftentimes it does not. You have to put it to the test. So anyway, again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Have a great day.